Hi and welcome. I want to first start off by saying thank you for being here, and hopefully, you thank yourself for being here. I want you to take a breath and just drop into your body. You are here, that is valuable. Thank yourself for giving you the time and space to attend to you for the next few minutes. This channel is centered around the wellness and well-being of healers, of mental health professional, of us that are those of us who are space holders and who give of so much of ourselves to support the healing of other people. One of the things that I find to be so impactful and counterintuitive can be in the way that we get trained. What we've been taught about healing, it's not totally about healing. Some of what we've been taught about this work that we do is really about the systems that we live in. It's really about fitting into frameworks that were designed by people who don't have the same experiences that we do. I often hear, and this is from new, healers in training to experienced healers who are licensed or, who have been in the field for a long time, often hear this idea that we're supposed to pick a theory, right? We're supposed to have a niche and a specialty. We're supposed to have that one thing that we can do or this one framework that we can pull from in order to support the people that we're working with. I want you to consider, though, I don't know about you all, but, you know, just around 10, 12 years ago, when I was going through my master's program, every theory that I heard about or that was talked about was created by older white men. And that's not to say that there wasn't valuable information within those clinical frameworks. It was to say that that can't be it. A very small group of people cannot totally create a framework that will be most supportive and healing for everyone. And so what I often find is that when we are encouraged to pick a theory, when we are encouraged to like have a thing that we call ourselves, I don't want to name theories in here or single one out in particular, but when we are encouraged to pick one and do that thing, then one, we're often cutting ourselves off from our own medicine that we can offer other people. We're often cutting ourselves off from our own truth that we can share for with other people in a way that best supports their healing. I do tell people with years of practice, I absolutely believe that we settle on a theory, but it's not the ones that are in the textbook. It's the ones that are generated from the information that we receive, from the life that we live, and from the knowing that we have deep down inside of ourselves. Why is this important? Why am I talking about this here? I'm talking about it because when we spend most of our days trying to fit into a framework that's not totally our truth, that's not totally the medicine that we have to offer, that takes a lot of energy. And it can begin to create this disconnection between who you are and what you do for a living. And when there's a disconnection, when there's that significant of a gap between who you are and how you go about this healing work, then that tends to impact everything for us. It impacts us mind, body, and soul. It's simple to see the places in the system that can create burnout and compassion fatigue. It's simple to see the places in the world that can really help us see why it can be difficult to be well in this world. The place that we can impact, though, is really being intentional about being our full selves within the healing work. For 8 hours a day, or however long your workday may be, imagine being splintered from a part of yourself. That takes energy. That creates an impact. And so, what would happen if we stayed whole while we work? What would happen if the theory that we operate from, yes, it's still taking from clinical perspectives, but it's also taking from our own knowing. It's also taken from research and things outside of what we were traditionally taught within our training institutions or our programs. What difference would it make to be able to show up in your healing space fully and authentically and well trained in a way that allows all of you to be present? So you are not expending energy and just separating or fragmenting parts of yourself to be a good therapist or to be a good healer. Those frameworks are meant to give us a starting point and a guideline for us to deepen into ourselves and really feel into what is it that I'm offering? What is it that really fits with me? What is it that I do in my own life, in my own healing? If you are engaging in this healing work with a framework that you don't use in your own life, talk about cognitive dissonance. And again, that gap, that distance really impacts our wellness and our well being. We are better healers. We are better people. We are more well when we are able to show up fully within the work that we do. I've said it before and I will say it again in as many spaces as I can. Wellness is not a nights and weekend job. And so, how can you practice wellness throughout the day, even as you do the work that you do? This is one of those ways that you can do that by allowing yourself to be fully present, by allowing the framework that you operate from to not only be something that you have learned and gotten training in, but something that you truly embody, which means you have got to be all up in it. If you have ever felt like you had to choose between being clinical and being real, that is such a common thing, especially nowadays. If you ever felt like you had to choose between being clinical and being real, take some time to just reflect on what it would look like if both of these things merged together. This is all about how you can be real and connect with another real person. Yes, in a way that uses your clinical skills, but really in a way that uses some of the most beneficial skills that we have, which is our ability to connect person to person, not clinical theory or framework to person. Who you are is a part of what heals other people. And being who you are for as much of the day and as much of your life as possible is what contributes to our wellness. Thank you for the work that you do. Thank you for the time that you have taken for yourself. And my deepest desire is that I meet you back here at the Oasis and we continue to attend to our wellness together.